On this week's show, the Peloton Studios booking site is now live.
And the David Guetta Artist Series drops, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 89 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel, and I'm joined by my very special co-host and the better half of John Pruitt, Jackie. Welcome,
Hi.
Jackie.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm so glad to be back with you guys. I wasn't blacklisted. I didn't embarrass John too much.
Definitely
so
not. You were a superstar. We got so many rave reviews when you were on last time. So we figured with John off gallivanting in New York, who better to have on the show this week but you? So
I know.
I
mean, it's a lovely consolation prize for me because I didn't get to go to New York, but I get to be here with you guys.
Well, thank you. And you know what? There isn't too much this week to report, so it'll be hopefully a nice, quick show. But I believe that with you and me doing it, there's going to be tons of banter back and forth. So I'm sure there will be lots to share. There will be lots to share. But everything good there otherwise? I mean, obviously he's off, but all is good with you. And
yep, he's off. I'm going to be taking the classes that he's going to be in live in person. I'm going to be taking them live from my basement. I mean, so fun. So yeah, everything's good.
I was hoping that I could have been right there with him and was going to surprise him, but it just didn't work out. So I got to get better with my Peloton connections, definitely.
I know. Well, I tried to sneak in his luggage, but it didn't really work out either. So
didn't work out. It's okay. You know, we'll have more fun doing the show this week anyway. So
that's right.
So there we go. Well, folks, before we get started with the news, we'd like to remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button to make sure that you never miss an episode. And if you prefer to listen to us whilst on the move, every show is also available on all our podcast platforms. Just search Pelo Buddy TV and hit the subscribe button. And finally, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for Pelo Buddy and follow us on those platforms for all of the latest news. And now, Jax, let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
First up, we had everybody in a frenzy on Friday afternoon out in the US and the UK with Peloton opening up studio bookings. So, Jackie, I mean, it was just crazy how the word spread so quickly. Thanks to Pelo Buddy, who got the link out. But Peloton did, in fact, open up the site for both New York and London for folks to go ahead and book over the next few weeks. So it is still preview days, just Friday at this point, and there is no fee. So there are still complimentary classes. But what Peloton did was list a ton of classes on the website that folks could go in and select classes to do. It was insane as to how quickly in New York the classes were selected and gone. I unfortunately was out, and whilst Chris was fabulous and kind of let me know a little bit beforehand, I got back too late. And by the time I got on, I just got waitlisted. So I am waitlisted for a couple classes, and I'm crossing my fingers that folks end up canceling. But it was a true frenzy. I mean, it was just crazy what went on. Interestingly enough, though, whilst New York was just bombarded and so many people booked, There are still some slots available for the UK, primarily for the German classes. But as of recording, there was still a couple things available for German classes. The UK stuff, the UK runs and rides were all taken. And it looks like they are opening up for a longer period of time. So I had a little birdie tell me that booking was going to go through the 12th of August for complimentary classes. So definitely keep an eye out. If you didn't get the next 3 weekends in July, it looks like they may be opening up for 1 or 2 weeks in August as well, and being able for folks to sign up. So really exciting. I mean, it's just what we've all been waiting for. It's finally happening. I mean, it's again, I just can't believe how quickly the classes got filled up. But you know what? Of course, it's all a novelty for everybody. Everybody wants to kind of be the first to get in there. I am really excited to eventually get into the studio. And if it's not in one of these preview classes, it will definitely be down the road. And yeah, Jax with John being in New York, it was fun to see him in the studio on Friday. He got into Rebecca's hike, so I know that he was really excited about that. And unfortunately, Cody's ride went encore. Still no word as to why, but the ride that he was supposed to get onto with Cody actually went onto encore and was not live. But people were asking if the celebrity sighting was true or not, and pointed to Kenny Banya, the high five king himself. So it was so fun to see John get such a kick out of being there. So yeah, Jackie, it was all worth it, right? It definitely was. And yeah, next up, it's got to be on folks' minds, but yikes, the stock price is nauseating. And well, for us shareholders, it sucks big time, but this also impacts Peloton employees that are and were very gracious in making sure that employees were in fact included when the company did go public. So as we all know, it's been such a tumultuous past few months for Peloton employees. 2,800 jobs were eliminated. Founder and former CEO John Foley stepped down in February. Showroom employees also received a dramatic pay reduction last December. And this followed a company-wide hiring freeze put into place the month prior. But what Peloton are trying to do is do right by their employees. CNBC reported this past week that Peloton are rolling out pay incentives in an effort to boost morale in its workforce. They are looking to reprice stock options for eligible staff and offer a one-time cash bonus to hourly employees. According to some internal memos that CNBC were able to obtain, Peloton had told employees that eligible team members will have their post-IPO options repriced to Peloton's closing price as of July 1st of $9.13. So as an example, Peloton said options granted on March 1st had an exercise price of $27.62, meaning that they were underwater and employees were not benefiting financially until the stock passed that threshold. So after the repricing, Peloton employees will be able to exercise their options after the price passes $9.13. They're also enabling employees to access the value of their stock sooner by accelerating the vesting requirements by 1 year eligible in unvested restricted stock. So, they're trying to do good by them. I mean, it's got to suck, as it does for us, us shareholders that held that stock and at, one point was close to $180. But yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, if I was a Peloton employee, I don't think I'd be thrilled.
Yeah, it's painful. I'm also glad I didn't have to read that story because that was a lot of math, a lot of economics in that paragraph. And I was an econ major. But yeah, I mean, it does. It stinks. But I always try to look at like the silver lining. And I always find that when there are downturns in an economy, which is what it is, it's not just Peloton, everything, everything is down. To me, I mean, I told John the other day, I was like, so should we buy more stock? Because
I know Mark said the same thing to me. Yep. Mark said the same thing to me, Jackie. And you know what? I think, to be honest, I have been fortunate enough to have befriended a few staff along the way, whether it be in showrooms or, folks, and they don't complain. I mean, those certainly the ones that I've made friends with. They love their jobs. They love being involved with, that was just the icing on the cake. Having that ability to have that extra vested interest in the company was truly the icing on the cake. But how many employees in different companies don't get access to that?
Totally. I mean, it's such a beautiful show of like co-creation for Peloton to even offer that. And so I think that, it'll get better. And I think it's a really awesome show of loyalty that Peloton has, whatever those fancy terms were that you used, repriced it or whatever. I think that does a lot for morale.
Yep, I agree. All right, so moving on, tell us some good news coming out.
Some great news. I have been around Peloton for a while, so I remember July 4th being that fun time when the instructors like came up on stage together and taught like 2-for-1s, just kind of switched it out. It was so fun. Well, now there's so many instructors that they can no longer do that. But last year they had a really fun all-for-one music festival, if you've been around since last year. And this year it was noticeably absent. And I was like, oh my gosh, where is the all-for-one music festival? Well, Peloton is having one. And it's going to most likely be taking place in August of this year. And Matt Wilpers even kind of mentioned that they'll wrap things up in the summer in August with their annual All for One Music Festival to close out the season strong, and mentioned that there will be a lineup coming out very soon. So maybe by the end of this month, maybe in a couple weeks even, we could have a lineup for that. So that's exciting. I'm really, really excited for that.
Yes, I mean, they're always fun. And I remember last year where they kind of jumped from instructor to instructor and they gave kind of an array of different, and I think you're right, with so many instructors on the platform now, it'll be a great way for them to showcase, so many people that we haven't worked out with. And, Jackie, it's interesting because I've been doing a lot of working out. I'm trying to figure out what the right term was. A lot of workouts with the German instructors. And I've been sharing with it on the show. I know that John and I have both been sharing, but, with Benny, and now I'm totally in love with Jeffrey McEachern, on the tread. He is just amazing. But you know what? Somebody posted something today on Tobias Hines. Never gotten on with him. Just, unless somebody had initiated who he was, or even Marcel Maurer. Now, I know that the language barrier is an issue, but for some people, but truthfully, once you get on there and you're doing your workout, it's the music and their energy that just gives you everything that you need. So I think that this all for one is going to give folks an opportunity who would not have been exposed to different instructors to now have an opportunity to get to see what they're like. Because I'm telling you, there's some instructors there that folks are sleeping on, and they're amazing.
Oh yeah. I'm very guilty of going to the same instructors, and that's why I always loved almost being forced to, not like I'm super against it. I just have my favorites and I always work out with them. So to be able to have that kind of forced in a good way, variety is really awesome. So I don't know if I could do I'm a little bit more picky. I always give props to you and John for doing like the German and instructors, but maybe I'll get there one day.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I got to tell you, I don't even remember. John and I were trying to talk about how we kind of started working out with Benny. It may even have been him that was the one that, gave me that insight into him. And oh my God, I love him. And even the Spanish, Camila, fantastic.
Yeah,
Mariana Fernandez on the mat is just, and I like it because both Camila and Mariana do both. They do English and Spanish.
So and I love both of those girls. They are, I freaking love Mariana on the mat. Like, she's the cutest. Like, I can't. She's so cute. I love her.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it was Nicole Zag's fangirl that was the one that got me into Mariana. And she keeps on saying, Amanda, you got to try her. And she is fantastic. So, so I think All for One is definitely going to give folks an opportunity to broaden their horizons and their, well, the next thing that definitely broadens people's horizons, and it certainly has for me, are artist series. And there is no question that there have been artist series and there have been artist series. And I know when there is one that I love, I am typically very vocal about it and share it on the platform, on the Pelo Buddy platform. And your spouse will often laugh at me because either I will not know some of the artists or I will exude my enthusiasm as I did with Barbara Streisand. And it took him a while to get on. I think you were doing something. You were either doing a cool down or something. He was like, oh, I kind of like her. Where he was like telling me that it was, he didn't understand why Peloton had chosen Barbara Streisand. But we just got an artist series, I think, that is the artist series of all artist series. And that was David Guetta. The David Guetta artist series, which dropped this past Wednesday, I think for me is going to be on repeat for sure. If you have been living under a rock and you aren't aware who David Guetta is, he is an award-winning French DJ and music producer, and he is very well known for his collaborations with huge artists across all different platforms. So what we got to see was finally, and according to Ben Aldous, a very overdue, is 4 years overdue, release of David Guetta's music on the platform. Now, we've heard it. We've heard it in so many songs. There was no, in so many workouts and so many different modalities, where instructors have played David Guetta, music. But to put it into an artist series was phenomenal. And there were so many classes, so tons to keep folks busy for a while. We had runs with Susie Chan, Olivia Mata, and Marcel Meyer. We had a hike with Rebecca Kennedy. We had rides with Mr. Benjamin Aldous, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Eric Yeager and Camilla Ramon. Aditi did a flow, and Kelly Gullickson did a strength class. So there was definitely something for everybody. And my goal is going to be to get through the entire platform of different modalities. A great opportunity to get in a run with Marcel Amar, which I've been wanting to do. So, have you
excited.
Jumped on anything?
Well, no, not yet, because it just dropped for us, and I'm going to do it today. I think I'm going to do Ben's ride today after we finish recording. I'm very excited.
Awesome.
I love that music. My son loves that music. He's a big Marshmello fan. So maybe one day we'll have a Marshmello music series, but artist series.
I think anything EDM, any dance music, any club music, there's such a vibe to it that how can you not push yourself? So it was actually funny because I did manage to get, so I won't spoil my picks of the week, but I was too late to share this one as a pick of the week, but I just did Rebecca's hike. And it was
amazing.
Incredible. It was incredible. And I was pushing and I could see myself getting to PB, and I was there and I passed it, and I was probably 4 or 5 numbers over my PB. And then in the last minute, she had us wanting to dance, and I was so into the music and I was dancing that when it closed out, it was like, shit, where did my PB go? I had dropped right back down because I was so busy dancing that I hadn't focused on the fact that I had dropped that PB. So I was literally one off of my PB, but it was worth it. It was so worth it to just lose myself in that last minute that she gave everybody, that it was just absolutely fantastic. So,
I mean, that's a win. I think sometimes we can focus way too much on the numbers, and the actual workout is the win. I haven't hit a freaking personal best in, I don't even know, like years. So yeah, that's awesome.
I'm less hard on myself. Interestingly enough, I'm less hard on myself with PBs on the bike because I'm just not getting there. I have been focusing more on the tread, much more. I mean, Ben's ride was probably the first and only ride I did this past week. Because I was just out, I was down in Miami. So I was, on the boardwalk, and I was running, and took my husband running, which was a whole thing in itself, which we'll talk about again in the picks of the week. But you know what, for this, it wasn't even, she had us at 15%. I mean, literally half of the hike was at 15%. I was dying. And I think that's the
Rebecca.
only reason. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's probably the only reason I was even, remotely close to a personal best. But it was tons of fun.
Her hikes are the best. Her hikes are the best anyways.
The best, absolutely. And then remember, folks, back in May when we reported that Jon Hosking and Susie Chan were out and about filming some new guided scenic content. There were questions asked about where they possibly could be, and even as Jon's admin, I was not privileged to where they were. So I am just like you guys waiting, but we have to wait no more because that content is going to actually be released at the end of the month. So Peloton had sent out an email saying that folks should look out for those classes because they will be dropping at the end of July. So I know that I'm really excited. As I said, I have been on the tread much more, and they are two of my faves. So Jon and Susie together, I can only imagine it's going to be so much fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's awesome. I love it. Is it kind of similar to when Jess Sims did
assuming so.
Like the Norwegian
Correct.
or whatever?
When Ben went up to Iceland. Exactly. Yes. I think there's a lot of outdoor content coming because I know that Bex Gentry and Alex Toussaint were out in California. So we're surmising that potentially they're going to be bringing something out as far as content goes. But what I like about there's the difference between the outdoor content and then also the scenic, where you can kind of jump on the tread and still get to do it on the tread, but it's just scenic related. So, so that's going to be fun.
Alex and Bex, but they don't even teach like the same, they don't cross over. That's correct. So cool.
So I don't know. I don't
love
know
that.
If they're doing something together, but they were both out, we assumed, filming content just a few weeks ago.
Honestly, one of the most fun parts about Peloton is like guessing all the things like, oh, did you hear that like Jess Sims and, so-and-so were in New Orleans? Like it's all just.
Exactly.
If you don't take it too seriously, it's so fun.
It absolutely 100%.
So speaking of some outdoor content, so Peloton dropped a bunch of new outdoor runs. So these included 4 new classes with playlists from Spotify. In addition, there's now also an outdoor warm-up and an outdoor cool-down available. So that's nice for those people that do the outdoor things. I don't, but maybe I will.
I think it was a great drop in the summer. I love it because I think for us folks, certainly here in the States, even in the UK where it is the summer right now, it's a nice way to be able to just take it outdoors. And don't forget, folks, there is still that badge for you to be able to do X amount. And I'm absolutely escaping me right now. I'm going to look it up while we're talking. But for you guys to be able to get that special badge, it's a challenge, the Get Out and Move Challenge. So it's 24 classes from the outdoor category for folks to be able to do it. And they gave us almost the whole of the summer. So there's still another 56 days left in the challenge. But and I'm halfway there. So
look at you. Good for you.
Yeah, I think it's helping being when I'm down in Miami, I tend to work outdoors more than I would. But it's a nice way to get folks outside and to be able to work out, while you're on the go. Especially with people traveling, especially with people traveling and doing that type of thing. Sometimes it's nice to be able to be able to do that. So so I'm looking forward to that, to doing more of the Spotify again in my picks of the week this week, because they're amazing.
Yes.
So it's fun. All right. And it is a party down under. The Australian Peloton community are celebrating their first year anniversary this month. I cannot believe that it's only been a year. But I guess it was back last summer here, because it's the winter in Australia. But back in July of last year, that Peloton was launched in Australia. And of course, just under the most craziest scenario, because they were still very much in lockdown and very much part of the pandemic. And, having had so many friends in Australia, I know how strict they were. So it was really hard for Peloton to be able to kind of get off the ground in Sydney, where they initially launched. But on the official Peloton Australia Facebook page, they actually shared how it has been wonderful to see the community grow, and that throughout the month of July, they'll be shining a spotlight on specific Australian members. They also shared that it wouldn't be a celebration without some surprises. So it may be time to get our Miza Wong, who we got on the show when Peloton was first launched. I believe she was one of the very first people to have purchased the bike, back on the show to share with us how the Peloton Australian community have grown over the last year. So I'm definitely going to reach out to Miza and see if we can get her back on the show. I know that that's been a request from a lot of people, is getting more, more interviews on the show. It's just that typically John and I just go on and on and on. That the show's so long that it's like, who wants to still listen to an interview after you've listened to John and Amanda for over an hour? So, but I think it would be fun, and she would be somebody great to get. I know that I've had a couple friends in Sydney purchase bikes, so it's been fun for me. And these are people that I grew up with in South Africa that live in Sydney. So it's so fun for me to be able to see them getting as involved in the community. That's really cool.
That's awesome. And, I swear some of the best things can come from harder starts.
I agree.
Right? Like I
agree.
I think that's great. I'm really proud of Peloton.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, we have they've had some tweaks to the marathon training that Peloton offers. So they kind of quietly refreshed part one of the marathon training that they offer last week. So the strength for runners classes were swapped out for the first 4 weeks. So all the weeks had new classes swapped in for the day 6 20-minute run. All right. So this added classes from 5 new coaches to the program who weren't previously part of it, which is really, really awesome to have 5 new people and 5 new faces that people can take classes from. And we have on Pelo Buddy updated the reference page for the program to have both the new and the old classes. So you can have both. And that page can be found in our bio.
Awesome. Thank
you. Of course.
And they've also done some. I know. And there's so many people that have now gotten into it. You know what? It was, I had a fleeting moment. When I got into my tread and I started running, I said it on the air. So I will clarify for those that are curious to know where it's gone. That fleeting moment that I had, in that I put my mind to saying, all right, I'm going to run a marathon. And I even had a girlfriend of mine in New York sign me up for a half marathon back in April. And she said, come on, Amanda, we're going to do it together. Let's start with a half and then we'll go and do a full. And, I got to the point where I said to Mark, I said to myself, and I said to obviously my girlfriend, I said, I love what I'm doing right now. I love running. I love being involved in the tread community. I'm getting to, experience something that I haven't done in 20 or 30 years, but I just don't think I can push myself to do it. And not that I'm putting myself down, and that I'm sure I could if I really tried, but I didn't want to take something that I loved and turned it into something that I regretted or that I hated. So I've shelved my, and the problem was I couldn't get to these programs. So there's such disciplined people out there. I can see the Power Zone Pack people, and now these marathon, working up to do a marathon. They're so disciplined to stick to those programs and will forego doing other workouts and I just can't do that. I just can't.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, you agree?
I mean, personally, I do. I mean, that's why I've never once done a Power Zone class, because I really do Peloton for the joy, for the music, for the fun. And if running a marathon were just the act of the race, that would be one thing. But there is so much that goes into running a marathon, all the training. My mom's run like 18 marathons, so I've seen it firsthand.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know. And she's amazing, but it does do a lot of impact on your body. And so I think, more power to those that, like you said, that are super disciplined 100%. And I mean, that's freaking amazing. But I think it's really, really awesome that you were able to kind of like recognize like, hey, I love running and I want to keep it, joyful and light and, what you're doing now. I think it's perfect. That's how I am too.
Yeah, it was just it was my decision that I made, and who knows, maybe down the road I may change my mind. Yeah. But you know what? And even if it was just crossing the line, as you said, there's so much preparation that goes into doing it. And because I live half my life in Maryland and half my life in Florida, it makes it hard because I don't have a tread in Florida. So that was part of my decision making, was that, you know what, I think this is probably a better idea. But I have to say kudos to Peloton for constantly providing the platform for folks to do something that they didn't think that they could do. And you know what? Yeah, this new, 26 point whatever thing that they've done is amazing, because it does 26.2. It does give folks that really want to be able to do a marathon an opportunity to try something different. But it's given me an opportunity just to get on a tread. It sat upstairs. I mean, Mark was the one that I had gotten it for. He was the one that started running. Forget about it. I mean, he was like over that, but it gave me an opportunity. And I've always said, I mean, I think having been fortunate enough to have met the 4 tread coaches in London back in November last year was really the spark that I needed to ignite myself, to kind of ignite that inner running, ability. And I laugh sometimes because I say, oh, I'm a runner, but I'm not a runner. I just love to do it.
You are a runner. You are a runner. Robin says you are an athlete. Just Simpson.
All right.
We are. If you run, you're a runner.
I'm a runner. All right. I'm just not going to be a marathon runner for now.
There you go.
So for those of you that have asked, I'm not. But again, the point being, kudos to Peloton for providing these different modalities and stuff for folks to be able to do and get better at doing it. So, and talking about things that they do this past week, they actually added a new page that was created for members to submit, and this is on the Facebook. I believe it was on the Facebook page to submit ideas and feature requests. So it was actually on the official Peloton member Facebook page. They shared that they're introducing a new way for Peloton to gather feedback. The post said, and I'll quote it, every day you share your stories, experiences, and feedback on the official Peloton member page, contributing to what makes the Peloton community so special. Now, alongside Feature Fridays, we're exploring a new way to gather your feedback for future considerations. Do you have a suggestion for us, a new idea, product, or feature request? We'd love to hear it. So now, Jackie, what folks can do is they can actually go into the Facebook page, and there'll be something that they'll be able to link onto to provide that. And I'm assuming they'll have manpower on the other side gathering that information and figuring out what members are looking to do and what members are looking for to help their journey along. So I think, again, another way of them being able to open up different arenas for us and allowing us to be able to share what we're thinking.
I mean, Peloton's so smart. I mean, they recognize at the end of the day that this brand is a community-based brand, and to be able to welcome not only say that you're welcoming it, but to actually provide the platform for us to share our ideas and feedback, and for them to spotlight and highlight that. It's so admirable for sure.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. All right, next, Cody.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even write that one down because I didn't even need to. So Cody, as you guys may or may not know, Cody is not a fan of running, but he has been doing some outdoor runs with Camilla, and felt the need to go on Instagram take a picture, obviously, with her on the track and say in his caption, I am not going to be teaching on the Peloton tread, with a little kissy face, because he knows we talk and we, oh my God, did you see? Maybe he's going to cut. He's like, I am not teaching on the tread. It'll be a cold day in hell.
That's so funny.
It's so cute. I think it's hilarious.
I always laughed about that because I think when he became a meditation instructor, I kind of chuckled and thought, he was an odd choice to put on the mat. But it's worked for folks. So I'm sure there are tons of, folks that have both the tread and the bike that would love to see Cody, on that belt. But I guess we're
I mean, there's a pull for people like me and maybe like you, Amanda, that although I am a runner because I do run occasionally on the tread in 10-minute bursts at boot camp.
That's okay.
I don't necessarily my identity, I don't feel like is a runner, right? I'm one of those like kind of runners, 100%. But I don't like love it. But it would be cool to take a class from somebody that's also kind of like that, that is, hey, I don't freaking love this, but this is what we're going to do. And then we're going to have like a 1-minute walk, he would be perfect for the walk runs.
You know what? I never thought of it from that perspective, but you're actually right. Yeah. Having somebody on there that isn't quite a runner, but is offering it as an option. Interesting. Yeah. I never thought of it from that perspective.
I think we always, we compare ourselves to like the people that are like already there. And sometimes we feel like we can't do it because we're not there. But how do you get there?
100%.
By taking the steps, and to be able to do that with somebody that's also on the journey versus.
Well, it's funny because I never ran with Bex because I always was intimidated by her. So, she was, I just looked at her and I would just think to myself, I'm not going to run with her. And then I met Susie Chan, who is this ultra marathoner. She is she runs for fun. She literally will do a class, she'll teach a class, and then she'll run home, or she'll run through London. And initially I felt the same way. I just felt, I don't think I can run with Susie. But I got to tell you, I have, because she's so frigging phenomenal that it's like, I don't want to lose out on that. But she is a runner. I mean, she, she taught a class on Saturday morning, and then she went off to go and run like I think it was a triple marathon or something. I don't know. It was 50 something kilometers or miles or whatever. And I showed it to Mark, and I went, this woman is out of her mind. She just taught a class an hour ago, and now she just went to go and run I mean, it's insane, but there are people that love to run. So I think you're right. I think having someone like Cody on the tread actually would kind of be fun. I mean, could you imagine? Right? I mean, we would be cracking up, but I guess he's made it very clear. He's not teaching on the tread.
I mean, all volunteers tribute if they want somebody that's not a runner to run on the tread and teach. I'm just kidding.
Exactly. You're right. You'd be fabulous. Oh, and then I don't know if you saw this, but poor Hannah Corbin. She actually is going to be off the schedule for a little while. All her upcoming classes were actually canceled, and she popped on social media to share that she is dealing with some herniated discs and pinched nerves in her neck. So you see, even the instructors end up with getting, things that we end up with, and it's always been something that we fear of, but you just do have to take care of your body, which is exactly what she's doing. So she said that she's working with chiropractors, massage therapists, and acupuncturists, and just trying to get as much rest as possible so that she can be back on the, platform soon. And I guess from us here at Pelo Buddy, we do wish her a speedy recovery and hope that she is back, because I know her new country series just popped back on. So I think that people are going to be disappointed that she won't be there, to give that. But we do obviously wish her a speedy recovery and that she is back in no time.
Yes.
And that pretty much wraps up the news part of it. Next up is the instructors in the news, which I guess that could have been an instructor in the news bit. But I guess due to this past week being 4th of July and the holiday here in America, there was not much that the instructors were doing and putting themselves out there. So there was not much, but there is one story that we wanted to share that really should not be missed. And if you have not seen it, you have to pop over to pelobuddy.com to read the full article, because I'm only going to give you a short little snippet of it. But Logan Aldridge, oh my word, that man is fire. I did an ab workout of his the other day, and I was just blown away. But he actually was just interviewed for shape.com in an article titled "Meet the New Peloton Instructor Who is Making Adaptive Fitness Mainstream." And it shares how Logan is bringing adaptive fitness to the Peloton platform in his initial launch of standing and seating classes that have been very thoughtfully designed for people with varying disabilities. And I have to tell you, because I look at him and I think that it doesn't. I don't know how this man's doing it. I mean, it is unbelievable, and I can't even remotely get to it. But my strength is very poor. We're getting there. Yes, Daisy Mack, I know you're listening, and I saw your post to me. Thank you so much. I'm getting there. John and I promise you that we're going to add strength to our workouts. It's a big debate that we have, Jackie.
Well, yeah. Can you also tell him to add some yoga? Because I'm always like, do a yoga class with me. And he's just
I'm trying to do that with him. As his TV wife, I'm trying to get him to do yoga, because I shout out the yoga instructors all the time. And that is something that I have been doing, and I love it. I'm not very good at it, but I do it. And I love it. Oh my God. I love it, love it, love it. But I just the way I look at yoga in my mind, it's glorified stretching. And I love to stretch.
Yes.
And I just feel that it's a more, just a constructive way of stretching. I tend to stick with a slow flow. I haven't quite got into the fast paced, although I will be doing Aditi's David Guetta flow. So, and that was a power flow. So I will try it as best as I can. Yeah, I'll try it as best as I can. But yeah, I mean, just seeing what Logan's done on the platform, it is just mind blowing, and members love him, absolutely love him. So I'm trying to incorporate at least once a week something with him, because he's worth doing. No question.
Well, I will do that too, because I have not taken him yet. So.
All right. Well, we can jump on that. We can jump on that together. So that really is our only instructor in the news, but for today. So we are going to dive right into our picks of the week, because there are lots of them, as there are every week. And I will go ahead and start them off. And, all right. First pick of the week, Jon Hosking's 20-minute Tropical House Outdoor Run, which was off that Spotify, that what you had spoken about in the news stories. So they had released these new Spotify outdoor audio content, and this house run is fantastic. So I was down, and I'll share this little story. I was down in Miami for 4th of July weekend and for the week, and I begged my husband. I said, please come out with me. Just please come and run with me outside. And, it's a little sticky down in Miami. We probably went out a little bit later than we should have. And John is so upbeat. And what I ended up doing was put an earpod in my ear and an earpod in his ear, so we could both listen to the same. He doesn't care about the blue dots and all that nonsense. But so we were both on the same, we were both listening to exactly the same thing at the same time. And Jackie, I was peeing in my pants, because John was John was like, put a smile on your face, and And Mark was like, God damn it, don't you ever tell me to put a smile on my face when I'm dying here. And I mean, it was, but folks, if you want a quick 20-minute fun, EDM, I mean, it was tropical house, but it really was that dance music. Amazing. Don't miss it. And, sorry, July 1st. It was from July 1st. July 1st, it dropped at 4 a.m. Eastern time, but it's on the audio content on there.
Awesome. Well, also July 1st, at also 4 a.m. is when it dropped. Susie Chan had a 30-minute Spotify summer hits run, actually. So this was submitted by S.J. Enders. And they say it's a light, fun run with great music. It may have helped that I was in 70 degree weather with no humidity and surrounded by palm trees. Yes, I would guess that would help a little bit. So that is awesome. And I didn't actually submit one because I kind of tend to forget what I take during the week. But I actually took a really awesome meditation yesterday that a friend recommended. So I just wanted to recommend it to everybody. It is an Aditi. It's an Aditi 5-minute level up meditation. And it was from June 27th of this year. It was freaking awesome. She just had you kind of like visualizing, a moment when you kind of just like in my own words, step into your power. And it was so powerful. And after doing that yesterday, I told myself that I was going to listen to it every morning. Because truly, how better to start your day than with 5 minutes of, watching yourself. Yeah,
exactly. And 5 minutes is nothing. No. Oh yeah. Meditation is an absolute every morning, every evening. It's an absolute part of my day.
That's awesome. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. That was helpful.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. All right. Well, next up was Annie Lou. They had recommended Adrian Williams' 30 minutes 90s hip hop boot camp. Also from July 1st, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And they said this one really pushed me. Yeah, I think anything with Adrian Williams will push me. But
yeah.
They definitely recommended that as a great one to go for.
Dennis Morton had a 30-minute rush ride on the 1st of July is when it dropped at 10 a.m. Eastern. And this was submitted by Miss Sarah Beth and Amber P to the B. And they said that Dennis let the music shine throughout the ride. He played the classics as well as some cool rare tracks I've never heard. The perfect ride to just enjoy listening and losing yourself in Rush's beautiful music. So there you go.
That's awesome. Well, your husband spoke to me. I was not a big Rush. I didn't really know much about Rush, but he had told me about I Love You Man, and that became a movie we watched this weekend. So I know all about Rush now.
Yes, that is a great movie.
A cute movie. Great movie. So I know all about Rush. And I guess Not Cock Mark was also a Rush fan. They did Matt Wilpers' 20-minute Rush run, which dropped again on the 1st at 10 a.m. And it was, the comment was killer playlist with deep cuts, and he connected with all of it. So that is awesome.
That I'm not a Rush fan, but I do like the movie, so that's awesome. Benny had a 20-minute pop ride on the 1st of July as well. July 1st was a big day. 11 a.m. Eastern. Yes, 11 a.m. Eastern. Did I miss one? I think maybe. No, I didn't. Okay.
No, you're good.
Okay, Noah Smolsky 71 recommended this class, said it was the best energy and it was very emotional, which I love those emotional rides. So that ride was a Benny one. And I'm trying to think if he did tell me that there were subtitles on that one. I can't remember now, but it was awesome. Okay. I did it and it was awesome. Moving on. I get so these poor instructors. No wonder some people don't get shout outs because it's just too hard for them to say some of these leaderboard names. But Miles and Crowns, List 311 and Amajar 3 all recommended Bradley Rose's 20-minute pop punk ride, again from the 1st of July, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. The comments were great energy and killer playlist. All right. So Olivia had a 30-minute 4th of July walk run that dropped on the 1st as well at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And shockingly, I was on it live and it was so fun. I loved the music. It was really, really great. But this came into us from Callie RVA, I think. And like
Kate. I think it's Kate. Kate RVA.
Kate.
Yep.
I need to increase my font size. Kate RVA.
hence the glasses, Jackie. The glasses come on for this.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, she agrees, said it was a great playlist, and it was. It was a great playlist, super fun, upbeat, and it wasn't too hard, which for me, I love that. So it was a great one.
Awesome. And Rosie R12 had recommended Cliff Dwenger's 20-minute hip-hop ride. It was in German from the 1st of July, 2 p.m. Eastern. And they said with members in the studio, his energy was amazing. So that may have been his first ride with folks in the studio, if I'm not mistaken. May have been. But yep, it was. Control Room are chiming in. So that's awesome for Cliff. So definitely one to try.
So fun. That's awesome. Well, Camilla had a 30-minute EDM ride on the 1st at 5:45 Eastern. This was submitted to us by Rachel Blafield and Daisy Mack. And they both said last minute sub for Just King. So Just King had a something that she needed to run to. So Camilla subbed for her, but they said that her energy was amazing, which it always is.
All right. Next up, moving on to the 2nd of July, Bradley Rose's 20-minute Wimbledon ride. It dropped at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Slam Shanley and Alpha Zsek. I'm so sorry. Zysek, I'm so sorry if I butchered that, but it's a hard one to pronounce. They said he had technical difficulties at first, but the ride was great. So that was Bradley's 20-minute Wimbledon ride.
Awesome. So up next, we have Callie's 20-minute 4th of July full body strength, which was the 2nd of July as well, 9 a.m. Eastern. Bob SP273 said that it was a good class to kick off the holiday weekend.
Excellent. And Dennis Morton, another recommendation. K-Bass 613 recommended Dennis's 15-minute 80s rock ride from the 4th. I didn't know we had anything that dropped on the 4th, but maybe he did. It was at 11 a.m. Eastern, and they said music was great. So 50-minute 80s rock ride. I'm going to double check that was in fact the 4th. Go ahead.
Awesome. Well, another German recommendation, Tobias's 20-minute soft rock walk on the 6th at 1 a.m. Eastern is when it dropped. Bertha C. runs MD. I love those rhyming ones. She says, soft rock, need I say more? No, you do not. I love that.
That is awesome. Yeah, she does. Was somebody that had in fact, that's who I was talking about when I said about doing, I guess it did drop on the 4th. Sorry, I'm interrupting myself. It may have been an encore. But that Dennis rock ride did in fact drop on the 4th. I didn't think that Chris would have made a mistake, but I'm glad that I checked. Bertha was the one that introduced me to Jeffrey McKeechan and now to Tobias, and does a lot of the runs with them and says that they're fantastic. So that is awesome. That's awesome. And then mine, the next one is mine, and it was, Susie Chan's 30-minute David Guetta outdoor run. I absolutely loved it. Boxing NB Bubbly agreed with me, but she picked some great tunes. I loved just how she let us get lost in the music. I didn't feel like I was running. She is a superstar, and that I really loved the tracks that she ended up picking for that particular run. It definitely was energizing and got you moving out there. That was awesome.
So fun. Not feeling like you're running when you're running. That's always the goal.
Correct.
Anyways, another German selection. Eric Jaeger's 45-minute David Guetta ride, submitted by The Rainer. says that he made a great playlist, and with his outfit, it felt immediately like a summer festival or a beach party. It was amazing. And so many members. Yep, hit a PR on this one. So very, very
I know
fun.
that overlapped with Ben's, but that is definitely one that I want to jump. I said I was going to try and get to all of them, but it overlapped with Ben's because Eric's was a 45 and then Ben's was a 30. But I recommend it, as did so many people. So I am going to shout everybody out who had recommended Ben's 30-minute David Guetta ride. It was from the 6 at 3 p.m. and they are Fogel SDF, ES Stewie, Lindsay Sweats, Courtney 313, SC Rubies, A Green Machine, and G Bayer. All agreed with me. That ride, Jackie, was, I had said something on Ben. Ben had posted about doing it, and I had said, this is going to be epic. It was euphoric. As we all know, Ben's been off the platform for the last few weeks. And it was his first ride back. He is a DJ himself. So being on the platform and being able to appreciate what he was sharing with the members, he's always played David Guetta from the day he started. I mean, I just always remember, Ben is all about that EDM music, that house music, that party music. He lost himself in that ride, and there were so many community members on that ride. Ben's Peloton army were out in full force supporting him. We all changed our hashtags to welcome back Ben. And it was amazing to have him on there. He definitely got a little teary, through it, and just saying that there was a lot of memories that were evoked, from this ride. And it was amazing. He was a rock star. I got to tell you, folks, if you haven't jumped on that one and you're looking for something to really lose yourself in, this is absolutely the ride to do it in. It was like Ben Ben at his on a pedestal. It was Ben Aldous on a pedestal. So I'm so pleased that so many people other than myself had recommended this. I didn't even realize that until I saw everybody's name. So definitely one for folks to do.
So I'll be back in about 30 minutes. Going to go take that ride real quick, and then we can finish up. Sounds awesome.
Well, you just have one left. You have one left. So let's go for it.
So Olivia Amato had a 30-minute David Guetta run, also on the 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And quite a few people recommended this one as well. We have Better Netter, Strong as a Mother, and Miranda Land. And they just said it was a perfect playlist and the class structure to have fun and to push themselves. So lots of David Guetta recommendations, and I'm not surprised.
I love that. I mean, it just shows that I said in the news piece, this was an artist series of all artist series. And it will be one that I will go back to Ben's ride. If ever I am down and I need to just get on there and lose myself, that is a ride. And I want to see myself push myself more and more on that because it was truly amazing. All right. Well, I guess that pretty much wraps it up. And that is it, Jackie. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking time and doing this for us and being a part of it. I love having you on here. I know I told John before that he needs to be careful because you're so fun. You're definitely more fun. He's very serious when he does the podcast. You're definitely
Which
more
is
fun.
very odd because he is not a serious person, but he just takes on the persona, I guess. I don't know. But thank you so much for having me. It was it's always fun to see you, Amanda, and to talk about Peloton.
So
we could do that for free forever, right?
Forever. Exactly. Oh, well, it's wonderful having you. And thank you so much from me here back in Maryland. I look forward to seeing you all soon. And thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed having Jackie on here, and I will see you guys all next week. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.